Here's the truth about the money being left on the table. It's not in the proposals you lose, it's in the ones you delay sending. It's the split-second decision to accept a lower rate because it feels safer. This one mistake, made by 95% of creatives, quietly chips away at your bottom line every month, easily costing you $10,000 plus by year's end. Let's talk about the hidden reason this happens, and how we together can stop it for good. Before we dive in, I want to be crystal clear. I'm a financial educator, not a licensed financial advisor. The ideas we talk about here are for educational purposes, to help you build awareness and ask better questions. This isn't personalized financial advice, so please always consult with a qualified professional for your unique situation. Okay, let's get into it. At the heart of this self-sabotage is a deep internal conflict that almost every creative professional I've ever met wrestles with. It's the story we've been told, and that we tell ourselves, that art and commerce are two separate opposing forces. We see our craft, our studio, our process as something sacred. It's pure. It's an extension of who we are. And then there's commerce, the spreadsheets, the invoices, the negotiations. It feels transactional, cold. It feels like a necessary evil that taints the purity of the work itself. This internal narrative creates a profound discomfort when it's time to put a price on our creative output. We hesitate. We feel a sense of guilt asking for what we're worth because it feels like we're trying to sell a piece of our soul. So we delay sending that proposal. We instinctively lower our rate to avoid a negotiation that feels confrontational and unartistic. We subconsciously believe that to be a true artist, we must be somewhat detached from money. This mindset, this false wall we build between our passion and our profession, is the very thing that quietly drains our bank accounts and limits our potential. So how do we bridge this gap between our creative soul and our financial well-being? What if I told you there's a timeless principle, one that the master artisans of the past understood intuitively, that completely reframes this entire conflict? That principle is the Guineville law of value exchange. Now, I know that sounds like a term you'd hear in a business school lecture, but please, stay with me. At its core, it's not about corporate strategy. It's a profoundly human concept. It's the simple, elegant idea that commerce, at its best, is not a transaction, but a transfer of mutual benefit. You are not simply selling a logo, a photograph, or a piece of code. You are providing a solution, an experience, a transformation. And in return, your client provides you with the resources, the money, that acknowledges that value and enables you to continue creating it. This reframes everything. The fee you charge is no longer a price tag on your soul. It becomes a measure of the positive impact you are making in someone else's world. It's an energetic agreement. The money isn't a tainted element that corrupts your art. It is the physical representation of the trust, respect, and appreciation your client has for your unique gift. When you internalize this, the entire dynamic shifts. You move from feeling like a reluctant vendor to standing firm as a valued partner. The guilt of asking for what you're worth dissolves, because you understand you're not taking something from them. You are participating in a fair and honorable exchange that benefits everyone involved. Embracing this is not about becoming greedy or selling out. It's about building a sustainable creative practice. A one-sided exchange, where you consistently give more value than you receive, is a direct path to burnout. It drains your energy, your resources, and eventually, your passion. A healthy value exchange is the bedrock of a long and fulfilling creative career. The income you generate isn't just to pay rent. It's the fuel that allows you to buy better equipment, to take that workshop, to afford the time and mental space to experiment and grow as an artist. It's the very thing that protects your ability to create your best work. But I know this can feel a bit abstract when you're staring at a blank proposal. So to make this principle tangible, let's use an analogy from a world we all understand intimately, the world of craft and materials. Think of a master ceramicist at their wheel. They pour their skill, their focus, their very essence into shaping a vessel from a lump of clay. The form is elegant, the intention is clear, but in this state it's incredibly fragile, it's pure potential. To make it durable, to make it useful, to allow it to hold water and last for 1,000 years, it must pass through the fire of the kiln. That intense, transformative heat is not an enemy of the art. It is the final, essential step that solidifies its value. Your proposal and the fee you state within it is your kiln. Asking for what you are worth is the act of firing your creative work. It's the necessary pressure that transforms your talent from fragile potential into a durable, lasting solution for your client. When you undercharge, you are pulling the piece out of the kiln too soon. It might look the part, but it remains weak, unable to withstand real-world use, and its true value is never fully realized. A fair and confident fee doesn't diminish your art, it honors it. It's the final act that validates the exchange and makes your impact permanent. The kiln is a physical tool, an external process. But the courage to place your creation inside, trusting it to withstand the fire and emerge stronger, comes from an internal belief. So how do we cultivate that unwavering internal conviction? That conviction begins by fundamentally changing how you see yourself. For years, many of us have operated under the label of artist or creator. It's a label of passion, of skill, but it can also be a passive identity, one that waits for value to be recognized, waits for permission from the outside world. The shift is to step into the identity of a creative professional. This isn't a less romantic title, it's a more empowered one. A professional doesn't just create, they take full ownership of their work's entire journey, from the initial spark to the final impact. They understand that the business side isn't a corrupting force. It's the vehicle that carries their art into the world and sustains it. This means seeing yourself as the chief advocate for your own work. You are the steward of your own talent. Pricing, proposals, and negotiations are no longer awkward chores. They become essential acts of stewardship, protecting the value you've created and ensuring it has the resources to make a real difference. Ultimately, this is the shift. From being a passive creator of things to becoming the proactive steward of your value. It's about seeing yourself as the leader of a creative enterprise, no matter how small. So, let's bring it all together and build a clear blueprint for making this change, starting today. So the blueprint is clear. It's a simple, profound shift in perspective. First, you reframe the fee not as a transaction, but as a measure of the trust and impact your work delivers. Second, you step into the empowered identity of a creative professional, the chief advocate and steward of your own value. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about building a sustainable structure that protects your ability to create. I want to hear from you. Down in the comments, share the single biggest mental block you've faced when pricing your work. Acknowledging it is the first step. And if you're ready to continue laying the foundation for a thriving creative career, make sure you subscribe and join us. We're building this blueprint together, one piece at a time.